Hi everyone, my name is Alysha and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I've got a really exciting tutorial that was suggested by a couple of people over on Instagram. Make sure to check me out over there. Post a lot of stuff crochet related, so if you're into that, check me out. So this one, it's a bathing suit as well as a little matching cover up. I'm just gonna hop up to show you. But it laces up the sides just like this. And then you have like a matching bathing suit underneath. It's super simple. If you've already seen my bathing suit tutorial, that is just like my basic, my favorite one. It's the exact same for just the base. And then we do something a little bit fun for this little lace up skirt here. I feel like this would look great in a whole bunch of different colors, but it was seen first on Pinterest, which I just recreated from that Pinterest photo. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to start with a slip knot. And then we need to make a chain that is long enough to reach from like hip bone to hip bone in the front. We don't want this piece to be too long so that we'll still have some exposedness on the side. But for this pattern, there's a little bit of a variation that you need to be mindful of. So your chain needs to be in multiples of 4 plus 3. So I'm going to make mine 59 chains long. So now I have my 59 chains, and now what we are going to do is count 11 chains from the hook. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we are going to put a double crochet in that 11th hole. That makes your first box. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then count 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In that 4th one, we are going to put a double crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Count 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a double crochet. This is what we're going to keep doing all the way down the chain until you get to the end. I'll do it one more time with you. So chain 1, 2, 3, count 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, put it in the 4th, and just continue on. I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I've gotten to the end of my row. I've got all of my little boxes set up, and now that we're at the end of the row, we're going to chain 7. So 3 chains will be the length of like the bar on the end, and then 4 will be enough to go across and make like our box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Flipping our work, we're going to yarn over and put a double crochet in the top of that double crochet that you put on the first row. There you've got a box. Chain 3, put a double crochet in the next one. Chain 3, put a double crochet in the next one. Something to watch out for here, you don't want to get your work twisted, so I just stretch mine out so that I don't get it twisted. So you chain 3 and put it in the top bar. Keep doing this until you get to your last stitch in the row, and there's a little variation that you need to do at the end. So at the end here, you may notice you don't have a stitch to go into. So what you're going to do is count 4 stitches from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, and insert into that chain the 4th one, put a double crochet there. And that's your second row. And at the end of the row, we're going to chain 7, flip our work, and put our double crochets into those top bars. Just keep repeating that over and over until you have enough rows to be your skirt length. I did 33, and in total, so I'm just going to keep making this, and I will meet you when I am done. So now that you're done your 33 rows, or more or less, doesn't matter, I want you to make 3 more identical ones so that you have total 4 of these pieces. If you have a bigger butt, you might want to make 2 that are a little bit wider so that you have a little bit more coverage, but I am flat as a pancake, so I don't need to worry about that. And now what we are going to do is just take 2 of those pieces, and do a single crochet around the whole outside so that they're layered together. This will give you a little bit more coverage. See how you can see my hand a little bit less than here where it's much more visible. This will help for a little bit of coverage. You could just do the 1 layer, but I kind of like the sturdiness of the 2, especially since we have these giant holes. So I'm going to line up my pieces, take the yarn, make a slip knot, put it on my hook, and I am going to go into a chain in the front and a chain in the back and make a single crochet. And then we just keep going, a chain in the front, chain in the back, single crochet, chain in the front, chain in the back, single crochet. And when we get to one of these bars, you want to go in the top of the bar, in the top of the bar, single crochet. This is a little bit tedious as you go all the way around, and it just takes some time and patience. But yeah, just work slowly and go stitch by stitch until it is fully closed all the way around. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I'll meet you when it's done. You want to do that for this piece and this piece so that it's fully enclosed, kind of like a pillowcase, and then we'll work from there. So now once you have your pieces made, I want you to hold it up to yourself, pin it on, I don't know, whatever, and see how much space you have between your 2 panels and how much extra you'll need for your waistband. Remember, this skirt needs to be pulled up over your hips and your butt, which is probably going to be the widest part on you, so make sure to leave some space. If I was doing it for this mannequin, I'd probably need an extra 2 inches. But I'm a little bit bigger than this mannequin, so I'm going to add a little bit more than that for me. And remember, we are adding 2 inches on this side, turning it around, and 2 inches on this side. So try to make sure that it's even when you do this. So based on that measurement that we just took, I've got my yarn at one of the top corners, so the short side of our skirt panels. And I'm going to chain 20. Then I'm going to grab my second panel, grab a corner of it, insert my hook, and make a slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2, And in that very same hole that we just put our slip stitch, I'm going to do a half double crochet all the way across this top row. So for a half double crochet, you are going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over again, and pull through all 3. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I get to this top corner. So now that I've done all my half double crochets off of the top of that, we're going to chain the same length that we chained on the other side. So for me, I'm doing a chain of 20. All right, and like we did for the other side, I'm taking the opposite corner, inserting in the corner, making a slip stitch, chain 2, and in that very same hole, I'm putting a half double crochet. And now we're going to go over this side with a half double crochet. I'm just going to keep doing this, and I will meet you when we get to the chain on the side. Alright, so I've done my half double crochets and now I've gotten to my chain. And as if this is just the beginning of the project, we are going to just half double crochet down the chain as well. Alright, so I've gotten to the end of my chain, and now I'm back to where I started my half double crochets. So right at the top here, I'm going to insert my hook, make a slip stitch, chain 2, and then in that very same hole, I'm going to do another row of half double crochets all the way around. So this waistband can be however long you want it to be. Doesn't really matter. I think that I'm only going to do a couple of rows for mine, but just do whatever you want, honestly. So I'm just going to keep going around and around and connecting like we did at the end by doing a slip stitch in the top here, chain 2, and then keep going with your half double crochets. So yeah, just keep doing that until it's all even. You want to make sure that you have the same amount of half double crochets all across. And yeah, so I'll meet you when I'm done my waistband. So now we're going to just make the ties that go up the sides. So I just put a slip knot on my hook. And now I'm going to chain 200. You might need more or less, but I think that this should be long enough. So I'm just going to keep going on with that. And remember, you need to make one for each side. So I just lace my string through every couple of rows. I think I might make my string longer, more than 200 stitches, just so that I can go more often. But yeah, you can do it kind of randomly. It looks good from the front, but from the side it looks a little crazy. So I think that I need to make my string longer. So I start off with a slip knot and a chain of 30. This I find like makes kind of like a cheeky bottom, and it's the exact same on the front and the back. It works for me. I don't have much of a butt, so I don't need to worry about making space for that. Alright, so let's start with that chain of 30. So we're yarning over and pulling through the loop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Alright. So what we're going to do is just do a row of half double crochets. Yarn over, insert, pull through 1, and pull through 3. Yarn over, pull through 1, and pull through 3. And we'll continue this for the rest of the row. And now we're on the last one. So we are going to chain 2 and flip your work. So now on every other row, we're going to decrease from both ends. So how I match this is every time that there's a tail on the end, that's a row that you decrease. All right. So how to decrease in half double crochet is you yarn over, insert your hook, and pull through 1. Now usually you'd yarn over and pull through 3, but now we're going to yarn over and stick it in the next hole. Yarn over, pull through 1, and now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your hook. You're gonna yarn over, pull through all of those, and then just continue your row basically as normal. So you'll be able to notice here that we've joined together 2 stitches to make 1, and that's 1 decrease. Okay, so now we're getting to the end and there's only 2 stitches left. So what we're going to do is decrease again. So yarn over, insert into the first hole, pull through, yarn over, insert into the very last hole, pull through, and pull through all of them. Great, we're finishing the half double crochet as normal, chain 2, and flip your work. Alright, so it's kind of hard to see, but we've made a decrease now. It'll be more apparent as we go on. But now, as you can see, there's no tail on this end, so I'm not going to decrease this row. This is just a regular row. And continue across the row as normal. So we've got another decrease row, so I'll show you how to do it. So we're yarning over, insert, pull through 1, yarn over, insert in the next one, pull through 1, and pull through all of them. And continue as normal until you get to the end. Remember, we're decreasing on rows with the tail and just doing a normal row on the rows without a tail. And last one of the row, so we're going to decrease. Sometimes that last one is hard to jam your hook into, but you'll get it. So you should be starting to see the kind of trapezoid shape start to form as we get to the end here. See that? Eventually it will just like keep going in until we get to like the crotch part. All right, but to get to that, we'll need to decrease, and it's a decrease row. So I think now that you should be getting the hang of it, each row is smaller every time you go around because we're decreasing. That should make it easier on you. So I'm gonna continue on, and I will meet you down a couple rows so that I can tell you what to do once we get to the crotch part. So I've done a couple more rows, and you see I've got this trapezoid shape going on. I think I'm going to do one more row of decrease before I start to make the crotch part. And for this part, it really depends on like what you want, how much coverage you want. I like mine rather thin, but you could just keep it going wider or thinner, whatever you feel like. And it's much faster to do these rows as we've decreased so much. Okay, so now that we've finished here with our decreases, I'm just going to finish up this row so that you can see it. Okay, so my crotch part is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches wide. And I want it to be 7 rows tall. So I'm including this first one of no decreases, so that's 1. And now we're going 2. And we're just going to do 7 regular rows. No increases, no decreases. And since there's so few stitches here, it shouldn't take you that long. If you guys ever make any of my tutorials or patterns, please tag me. Someone on TikTok tagged me in a dress that I gave a tutorial for, and I literally almost cried because I was so happy that someone used my tutorial. Because, like, you know, I'm kind of new to this, just like you guys, and it's like encouraging to see people like liking and using the tutorials that I post. Makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And, you know, like, I don't always do everything right, but, you know, get it done. So if you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. Or if you don't want it to be public, you can just DM me. My DMs are basically open on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll try to get back to you as well as I can. I don't usually talk in like the proper crochet terms all of the time, but I'll try to explain it to you as intuitively as possible. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And now this is row 6. Then only one more after this. Oh, I forgot to explain how to count the rows. So you start counting, so you can kind of see where you decrease because there's like a little extra bulkiness. See here how there's like that extra diagonal stitch there? That was the last place that I decreased. So you can see here, there's no diagonal stitch. So these ones are the ones where I didn't decrease. So I only have one more row to go. And that's it for like the back or the front. It doesn't matter, it's kind of reversible. We're gonna do exactly what we did on the first trapezoid and just reverse it for the front part, or, you know, the back, whatever, reversible. I just said that. Anyways, but instead of decreasing, we're gonna increase. So I'll show you how to increase. So for an increase, let me bring you in a little bit closer. For an increase, you're gonna start the same way that you always do and just put in a half double crochet. And now in the exact same hole where you just put that first one, put another. And that's how you increase. See? And you've got 2 emanating from that one hole. And then we're just gonna keep going with just regular, no increases. And notice by the way that I did this, I have the tail on the same side, so I can always increase or decrease on the same like side of the project. Just makes it more simple for me because sometimes I forget. And another increase at the end, and we're going back into that same hole. And boom, you're done your first increase row. And again, we're just doing another regular row. So every other row, you're going to increase 1 on each side. All right, flipping our work, and we have another increase row. So I'm gonna insert, increase in the first one, and just regular stitches across. and increasing in the last one, chain 2. All right, so we're starting to see how it's opening back up again. So some of this and this will still be like on your kind of like crotch part, but you can just extend either side if you need it to be longer. I just find that this size works for me. This is just a regular row. So for this one, it's great because it doesn't need to be exactly the perfect size, because we've got the ties on the sides, so you can adjust it. That's my favorite kind of like crochet clothes to make, because you don't need to like worry so much. As long as you've got all of the important bits covered, if you want them to be covered, then you'll be good. So now to see that you're like on the right track, you can fold your work in half and see that it lines up perfectly with the one underneath. See that? So I'm just gonna keep going until we get to the end. All right, so I'm here. I only have one more increase to go and then one more row of just like regular half double crochet. And our final row, which is just a regular row, no increases, no decreases, nice and easy. All right, and that is our base for our bikini bottom, all done. Now I'm going to show you how to add the straps on the sides. I'm going to add a strap to each corner so that we can tie them on the sides. So for these straps, I'm going to chain 70 on each side. The side's already attached, we don't even need to detach it. So I've already chained one at the end of the row, and now just 69 more. Okay, and when you get to the end, you're going to pull a little bit so that you have a bigger loop to work with. Snip it off. And pull it through and tie it off. And it's nice and secure. I'm just going to trim this a little bit, but not too close to the knot. Trim that. And that's one strap. So this is just like a chain. It's not that thick. So if you want something a little bit more sturdy, you could double up your yarn, or you could make like a braid and just like braid it by hand and attach it. But this is the way that I do it. I really like a skinny strap look. It's a little bit stretchy, but not too much. All right, and so now that we've cut it off, we're gonna need to attach a new one. So I'll show you how to attach a new one. So what we're gonna do, gonna make a slip knot. Oops. Stick our hook through it and find like kind of like the first hole you have here. Hold on to it. And this is called a slip stitch, what we're gonna do next. So we're gonna yarn over, pull through the first one, and just keep pulling through. That's a slip stitch. That's how a lot of things are attached in crochet. It's pretty secure, and it doesn't make anything bulky. All right, and then we're just gonna chain 70 again. And you're just gonna repeat this for the rest of your straps. All right, and so that's what your two front straps look like. Pretty cute. And you're just gonna repeat it on the other side. So just attach your chain 70, and that's all. And here is the final piece. Next, we'll go on to the top. If you guys saw my how to make a bra cup tutorial, this is going to start the exact same way. So we're going to make a slip knot, and chain 10. For the bra cup, we're going to make, obviously, 2 cups, and then just add some straps to it pretty much. So we're going to half double crochet down this chain, and now we're at the end, so we're going to chain 2 and just go back across with a half double crochet. Okay, so we're gonna go into this last stitch, and here is where it starts to get funky. So in that very same hole, you guys see that same hole right there where we just put 1 stitch? We're gonna put 7 more. This is gonna make it round out and start our cup shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, no, 6 and 7. And now what we're gonna do is go down the back side. So these holes aren't as easy to see, but you can still get into them. So we're going 1, 2, there we go. I don't know why I was counting, but and then this last one. Great. Chain 2, flip your work. And we're just going to keep half double crocheting around all the way to the other side. But at the top we have a little bit of a variation, which is we are going to put 3 in the very top center loop so that it increases and gets like into a bigger cup shape every single time. All right, and here is my top center loop. See that right there? And we're gonna put 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then just do regular half double crochets all for the rest. And now this row is the pattern that we're going to follow for the entire rest of the cup. So you've gotten to the end, chain 2, flip. And so now we're getting to the top, and if you get confused as to which one is the middle stitch, just look at your 3 that you've put into that one. So we've got our first one, there's the hole for the first one, we've got our second one, there's the hole, and then the third one, you want to put it into that second one. That's where you're doing your increase, right? So just 1 regular one, and then 3 in the center. And then just a regular one in the next, and all the following. So we're just repeating this over and over. Oops. We're just repeating this one over and over. And you'll start to see it'll start to kind of round out and make more of like a triangle shape. So I'll just finish off this row with you guys, and then I'll pick up a little bit later on once I've got more of my cup done. Got a smaller cup, then you obviously won't need to do as many rows around, but if you've got a bigger cup, you'll probably be at this for a little while. So that was our increase one. And chain 2. So we're starting to get that cup shape coming together, that kind of roundness, and also we're starting to see it as a bit of a triangle kind of shape, like a rounded triangle. So I finished up my cup here. I'll show you. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows outside of like that first one that we made. That's just for reference. So now I'm going to show you how to make some loops on the bottom so that we can string through like the strap that will go around your rib cage. So I'm at the end of my row here. So I just finished going around into there. I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to go along the bottom. I don't have like a specific spot that I go into, kind of just wherever I see like a sturdy hole. You don't want to go just into like one layer of string like that, because you don't want it to stretch. Make sure it's a hole that's kind of like reinforced. And then we're going to slip stitch. We did this on the bottoms when we attach the straps. So we're going to go yarn over, pull through the hole, and keep pulling through. And then we've got this little loop that we can like string our string through. And then I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Find another place to insert. And slip. Oops. Everybody makes mistakes. All right, so we put it in, yarn over, pull through, and slip stitch. Now we've got 2 little loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Find another hole, and slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another hole. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. If your bra cup is smaller than this, then you won't need to do as many of these little loops on the bottom. But we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Find a hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. Find a hole. I try not to do it right where the where your original knot was, because that can kind of get pulled on, so you don't want it in there. So I just put it right to the left of it. And you want to make sure that your last one, it ends like right close to the end. Boom. And then I'm just going to chain 1. And now what we can do, without even cutting our thing, so we've done our little scallop trim on the bottom. Looks really cute. It could just be decorative, but we're going to use it like for a utility to loop our string through. But now we've chained 1 and we're back on another side of the cup. So now what I'm going to do is you can half double crochet up this side if you want a little bit more coverage, or you can just single crochet, which is just insert, pull 1 through, and pull 1 through. But I'm going to get just a little bit more coverage because we're going to go all the way up the side and then make a strap. I'm inserting and half double crochets all the way up the side. And this top is completely reversible. It doesn't matter which side is the outside, but now that we're adding this like extra row on one side, you want to make sure that that's like that's going like closest to your armpit, and then the other one will be closest to your other armpit. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, you'll have like one for the left and one for the right, but they're reversible, so it doesn't really matter which one is which until you put it on, of course. Okay, so I'm coming up to the end, and as soon as I get to the top, that middle stitch, we've got, oh, got one more, and now I'm going into that middle stitch, finish that half double crochet, and now we are just going to chain. I think I do a chain of 100 for these ones. So I did 2, I'm just going to keep going. And again, if you wanted a thicker strap, perhaps if you've got a larger chest or need more support, you might want to double up your yarn here. Or when you're done the chain, you can go back over it with a single crochet or a half double crochet, because that will make it a little bit thicker, a little bit sturdier. So it'll be like this kind of strap. It'll be like this kind of strap, a little bit thicker, instead of this tiny little braided strap. I like how the skinny strap looks, and it doesn't really cause any problems for me, so I'm just gonna stick with the skinny strap. All right. And now that we've got our 100 chains and our whole strap, I'm just gonna snip and tie off. So that is our one cup. Super cute with this little hem at the bottom. And you're just gonna repeat this on the other side. So now we have both cups done. And the final step for this whole bikini is just making a string to go all the way around and wrap around your rib cage. So again, if you need more support, you might want to double up your yarn, so treating it as it's like taking two pieces and treating it as if it is just one. Going like this. This will make a thicker strap, like that, versus this. Or you can make a really long chain and go back on it with a single crochet or half double crochet. But yeah, I'm just gonna do the chain of 150 because it needs to go all the way around. So I ended up making my chain a little bit longer so that I would have enough to tie. So I made it 170 chains instead of 150. So I'm just gonna snip and tie it off. And now we just need to loop it through. Just go back and forth through all of like these little holes that we made. If you have a hard time doing it, you can use your crochet hook too to kind of grab onto it and pull it through. But I find just using my fingers is often faster. Or another option that you can do, if you've got a darning needle, you can just loop your end through there and then just go quickly as if you were kind of like sewing through these little loops and pull through. You obviously don't need this tool, like you can do just fine with your fingers, but it does make it quicker. So now I am going to go through the next one. All right, and that is your finished bikini. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. It means like the world to me. And if you guys create anything that you've seen in one of my videos, I would love to see it. So make sure to send it to me or tag me. I would just love that. And I just wanted to shout out everyone coming from like all the different countries watching my videos. Like I live in Canada and I'm seeing that people from the Philippines and the United States and Brazil and South Africa and Australia, like so many places are watching my videos. It's like so crazy to me. So thank you guys so much. All right, bye.